Hey guys, hey, it's me, Brennan. It's been a crazy couple weeks, so I know things have moved around a little bit. We've changed some things, so I want to jump right into it. And I thought we'd give you a little bit of a preview of how this this new product is going to work. So today we'll discuss a couple updates on the company. We'll discuss a couple updates just on the AI space in general. We'll also discuss some updates from our side, and then any questions that you guys have, we will definitely address. But I know this got moved to Friday. Apologies for that. I literally was stuck on the tarmac for 4 hours from my beginning flight yesterday. At this point, I am flown out. I went across the country 4 times in the matter of a week, which it's great to be busy, but it doesn't allow me to sit down as much as I would like to be with y'all. So I'm at least not flying for another week and a half, which is great. Which means that I get to spend more time with you guys, and we get to have a little bit more fun with what we're doing. So I guess first point, I know Camp Charlie was scheduled for next week. We had some speakers that we were enlisting to help us that unfortunately had some schedule changes. And when I started to think about it, if this product experience wasn't going to be the core of where we were going in the future, I wanted to make sure that you guys were getting taught on what the next version of the product is going to look like. So um, that being said, apologies for anyone that was looking forward to it. We still are going to be pumping out some tutorials next week just to get you guys in the know, but we wanted to give you the best experience for that. So that'll come in August with the new product in hand as well. So second part of this is that we have we've closed some more funding, so that's great. We are working on securing a relationship with NVIDIA as well as AWS. More to come on that, but that would be powerful partners that help us power the next generation of models and tools that we're developing for you guys to be able to use in your workflows. So really exciting times here based on that. But then I wanted to also show you guys just how at the basic level the agent might work and how it's going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to walk you guys through that here in a second. But I think where we're thinking that all of this AI stuff goes is that you want an assistant that's going to be able to execute very complex tasks that previously you would have to go 6, 7, 8, 9, however many pieces of software. I know some of you guys have shared your own workflows with me that are insanely complex. And I think one of the benefits of AI is that if you introduce some intelligence, it will actually be able to change those workflows to just be one line that you give to an AI rather than you having to go across 6, 7, 8, 9 different types of software. So let's just take a peek at what something like this might look like. So let me share my screen and we will go over this. No, there it is. Cool. Boom. So I'm now sharing my screen. You guys are seeing this in real time. So what we're doing here is opening up the agent. So right now we're planning on calling this Ask Charlie, and you'll see why. So one of the things that we're doing here is we're taking all this tooling that we've developed and we're introducing a brain on top of the existing tech stack. So most AI tools function like a vending machine right now. You give something in and you get something back out. And then you make your edits. You get something, or you give something in, get something back out. And that's fine, but like that's already getting old for many people. I think what we want is something that's really going to reimagine the way that we want something that's really going to reimagine the way that we work. And so let's show you what something like that might look like here. So we have all these advanced capabilities, but one of the things that we've kind of been looking at is we want something that can research. We want something that can create visuals. We want something that can do the whole workflow all at once. So let's do a rather complex prompt here. So research generative AI and Bitcoin as investment opportunities. Then write an article discussing which would be the better investment currently. Then turn that article into a tweet with let's do a series of tweets. Why not? Into a series of tweets that captures the main points made in the article and add some funny memes for each of those tweets. All right. So now we're going to let it run. So in its core experience, this might just look like something that you would do either 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10 mega prompts, and then a couple different tools to get something like this done. So why this is important is researching generative AI in Bitcoin as investment. So that's a search thing, but that's a search plus figure out what are the important points there. Then you're telling it to turn all of that information it finds into an article in establish a stance. So current AI doesn't really establish a stance. It goes to the side. Then you can turn that article into a series of tweets that captures the main points. So that's the semantic evaluation. How do I find the main points? And then lastly is creating some visuals that are on point with everything that you've already discussed. And so what Charlie does in one fatal swoop is the whole article, all of the tweets, all of the funny memes, and brings that into life here. Now, he also cites his sources. So this is super important if, say, we allow you to bring your own data sets, your own data warehouses into the mix. Maybe you have a brand asset library that you want to bring into the mix. You're going to be able to do all of that work in one place. We want you to be able to bring anything that you have similar to content repurposing, but be able to execute across those functions. So instead of something that's more of a chat-based feature, what we imagine this is going to be is each one of these outputs will be sort of its own card. So you put in this prompt, you get one of the outputs, and then you'd be able to edit any of these outputs, but you could also use the AI to kind of make edits for you. So maybe you like this article, but you want to change some of the points that were made. So what you can go in is just click in, make some edits, and you'll be able to work on that. But then you'll flip to the next card and it'll be this tweet. And you can say, hey, I don't really like this. Let's regenerate it. And it'll regenerate all of this, all of the logic here. So what we're trying to introduce to you is something where you can create multiple things at once, but it's still rather intuitive to work with the AI. So we'll get you 85, 90% of the way there. And then you'll be able to say, okay, what do I like each of these? What's going to work here? And then obviously we are working on the distribution component of this as well. But why this is different. So I think that's one of the most important questions that you're going to run into. And so we feel that a lot of people are focused on this idea of agents right now. So autonomous agents that can do whatever you need them to do. Now, I don't know about you guys, but my experience with agents has been rather lackluster. I have seen agents that are promised to do things that typically can either already be done simpler ways than using an agent, or they crap out anytime that they are trying to do anything of worthwhile value. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, why am I using this tool? Like, it can't do these things. So we call this a cognitive agent, but effectively a cognitive agent is the AI brain that we've been speaking about, where it intelligently knows what tasks need to be performed. So it interprets this task that you give it and determines what tooling is going to be best to achieve those things. Now, it's going to be able to execute across the web. It's going to be able to go and retrieve information from different warehouses. All this will take time, but the most important part is that it learns your workflows over time. Now, I know a lot of other tools are using workflows pretty liberally. That's effectively, they're just making rigid software tooling. So it's, again, going to have to be a user-driven experience for the right workflows. Whereas we feel that why not just have the AI do that for you, so long as you can describe the way that you want it to be done. And I think that's where the future of this goes. AI shouldn't be forcing you to use more tools, forcing you to choose what plugins, forcing you to choose all these different capabilities that you think are necessary to complete a task. By that point, you could have told someone else to do it and they could have been off to the races. We want the AI to choose for you and ultimately go and create those content. Yeah, I see a couple of them, agent tools. So that's a tricky one. So how can we get longer articles? So great question. Great question, Amanda. So I think that's one of those things that you'll be able to do. So think about it as each one of those outputs will be like its own card, its own screen. You'll have AI functions available to you in the editing panel for that particular thing. If you say make it longer in the AI, it will make it longer. So I think that's the way that we're thinking about developing this. So if you have an article, you could still use AI functions, or you could go in it with your scalpel and do a little bit more, like highlight this text, make it a little bit longer, that sort of thing. Now, I tested an agent tool yesterday on someone's site, and it was a poor user experience. All right, great, thank you. You are confirming our logic there. I think the coolest thing I've seen an AI agent be able to do is buy a pizza on Domino's, but by the time that it bought the pizza on Domino's, I could have bought the pizza on Domino's myself. So to me, that's not really all that cool. It just, that's parlor trick, but still pretty awesome that that type of technology is becoming available. Can we currently use Charlie to write review articles for us, Brendan? Yes. Yeah. So there's a couple ways you can do that. You could either use the assistant with similar chat prompts, say, hey, could you write a review post for us this way? There's another way that you could do that is go into either the social media wizard if you want it to be like more of a post style review, or you can go into the blog wizard if you want it to be more of an article length review. And you just put in the titling saying whatever you're trying to review is that type of post. We are working on, in the background, some blog architectures. I know we've been working on blog archetypes for some time. That's going to be more and more readily available to you in the agent. I think you're going to see that you'll have a lot more control over the archetypes of the outputs, which is, to me, I think is super important from a user experience perspective, because it's one of the things that you guys want is like, okay, blog wizard is cool, but like, we want to be able to tell it what type of article it is. We want that type of flexibility. And I think the assistant has some of those things, but the agent will bring all of that experience kind of together with the simplicity of the chat, but the quality of longer form articles. So great questions there. Now, so just a couple comments on like the general AI space, because I think there's a lot going on right now. And I would be remiss if I was not also protecting your guys' interests. So I've seen a lot of AI tools come out of the gate in the lifetime deal community, and they're really hot then. And I think that's awesome. Everybody wants to jump on the new thing. That's great. I've also seen a ton of video demos online that are like really cool. I don't really think that we've ever been that hype cycle company. We're getting better at that, but I prefer to deliver on substance. So if something's not delivering in the way that I want it to, then and it's not going to be available in production anytime soon, then I don't really like to flaunt it out in front of people. It's kind of like you're just teasing them with something for too long and then it's not coming. So anything that you see from us is going to be on point with what it can do. I think beware from some of these tools where they're showing these really cool demo videos and then you have to go pay for it. In my experience, at least, I've gotten duped several times and it just has not turned out to be a good experience whatsoever. There's so many demos out there that are so different from the actual product experience. And I don't know any other way to like get by that other than just to try it yourselves. But be cautious when you are buying things if you see this really sweet, too good to be true demo. Now, sometimes AI can actually deliver that too good to be true experience. That's what we're endeavoring to do with the agent and multiple other things we're developing. But be careful out there, guys. I've gotten duped several times just looking into new tools. I am here as a resource too. If you guys have questions about new tools that you're looking at, then I am all for jumping in, testing it out, seeing what you guys like. But just be careful. There's some really bad actors. There's a lot of crypto people that became AI experts and are releasing these AI tools, and no one's actually talking to customers. No one's doing their discovery. They're like, oh, look at this really cool demo. And then it doesn't ever actually deliver, or it doesn't ever come into production. It's really easy to make something locally. It's really hard to get something into production. As you can see with our own tool, much less everybody else that's in this market. It's reliability will become an increasingly important part of this world. But I just want to caution everyone. There's so much buzz in this space right now. Inevitably, companies are going to go under. So before there's like a big capital outlay on your front, just make sure you're checking stuff out. Hell, come use me as a resource, but I really want to make sure you guys aren't getting burned on really cool, fancy demos and then nothing actually get delivers. Does this will also create a video script by researching on recent content available on the web? Yeah. So that's one of the beautiful parts about the agent, right? So I think with the agent, you can ask it to research. You can ask it to go out to the web. it will inherently do that. But the more that you prompt it to go research things on the web and then bring that into the workflow, the easier it will be able to do this. For instance, a really incredible trial that I did the other day was, hey, I am selling a product to, I'm selling XYZ e-commerce product. I think that Gen Z is my target audience for this product, but can you take a look at this product, the industry that it's in, and determine whether or not Gen Z is the right target audience? And then if it is, then create content for the platforms that would best target that target audience in a voice that would resonate with them. And so that's a rather complex ask of an AI. First, go verify that my thinking is correct. And the second part is, okay, my thinking's correct or not correct. Based upon that, execute X, Y, Z. And so that's where you're starting to see this very complex sort of workflow get turned into one or two questions with AI. Now, obviously, people are going to have to get over that hurdle of trusting AI, but I think that's the type of future that we're going to, where you're going to be able to have a 1 or 2 person team do 200 people's worth of work in a matter of a couple clicks. I've lost thousands online with products that have underdelivered and shut down. Yeah, I mean that's part of it too. One of the things, I will be honest, at first with the lifetime deal community, when I was getting questions that I normally get from venture investors, I was like, what is going on here? Like, why are you guys asking me these questions about like XYZ? And it was awesome because it prepared me to answer those questions and pitches a little bit more. But two, like, that's very real. If you buy a lifetime deal, you want that software to be useful to you for a long period of time. You want value appreciation in what you purchase. You want the product to progress. And I've seen so many tools where they will just sell a whole bunch of lifetime deals. They'll screw over their lifetime deal holders. And then those people will get pissed off that they got screwed over. I understand why they did as someone that operates a business, but it's on the business to kind of figure out how to make it work and provide that experience for everybody. And right now, guys, like it is a bloodbath for startup fundraising. Like it is a bloodbath. We've been able to fundraise, but it has been over a specific amount of time, a long amount of time, way longer than I think any of us expected. I imagine that's going to get better and better, but for us, it's an investment. I know you guys invested in us early, but you have to think about like where's everything going to go and who's going to get there and who has the technical chops to get there. I think that's one of the things that's overlooked in the short term, but it's true in the long run, is who has the technical capabilities to build the things that will have lasting value in the space. And to me, that's proprietary technology, that's proprietary AI. Those are things that other people don't have. So I think the lifetime deal community slammed us at first with questions, but I think they teased out that these guys actually know what they're doing. And I think we're finally starting to deliver on some of that value that they expected to derive from it. So more to come there. So it can look at current information. Yes. Yeah. So great question here. So the AI can look at current information. So that's actually in the current platform too. I can't see the name of the user asking this, but someone asked, oh, so it looks at current information, not outdated data. Yeah, so Charlie, the researcher, sits in the background of our current platform. It's most prevalent in the assistant as well as the blog wizard. So the blog wizard, for those that don't remember, has like a 3-step process where it's generating talking points, it's generating topic headers. Those are all assisted by online research. Same with the assistant. The assistant can be used to research trends and all sorts of stuff like that. So that's something, if you weren't aware, sits in the background of our platform. The agent will also do that, because what I'm finding is people are using these language models as a search function. And guys, I'm here to tell you they should not be used for that. They make stuff up. Again, they don't know what they're saying. I'm not saying that problem won't be solved in the future, but LLMs inherently were never supposed to be a search capability. They were supposed to be a way to interact with technology in a natural language way. They're very good mimetic devices. They're not very good retrieval devices. That's an important difference here. So if you were relying on an LLM to provide you real-time data, that is not going to work. That's just plain and simple. So I would love for you guys to walk away from this conversation with that thought. How good do we need to be at prompting to get the best output from the agent, or is it just we have to ask follow-up questions? This is a really this is a great question. It's one of the things that we're thinking about, because as you get more and more complex prompts, more and more complex capabilities added into this, you're going to have to give away for people to understand how to execute that. Whether that's a prompt library that you can pull things from, whether that's a function library, whether that's a lot of coaching from us, which I think will always be present. You're not going to have to be a better prompt engineer per se, because what Charlie's doing in the background is creating his own prompts to go execute stuff. Like, that's why I don't think prompt engineering is really this career job that people should be investing. It's a skill, but I think the AI is going to eventually be creating the prompts necessary to execute what you want. So just get better at asking for what you want, and I think that AI is going to be able to prompt itself. But we're looking at personas that have like certain specialty skills. So like the AI could take on a certain persona to execute a certain type of task. That's one way we're looking at this. Another way is having like a prompt locker, being able to save things that you've previously used for a certain workflow and pull that into the agent. So there's a lot being worked on there, but the answer is no. You're not going to have to become some expert prompter. You're just going to have to know what functions will activate certain parts of Charlie. Oh, it's Lyle asking a question. Hey, Lyle. Hey, Mark. It's great to see you too. Mark, I don't know if you know this, but that's my dad's name. So special place in my heart for Marks. And Marcus is also my middle name. So there you go. Well, fun fact for you. So I think in kind of summation, so I've flown across the country 3 times in the past couple of weeks. I have spent way more time on fundraising than I ever wanted to. But I think the message that I will leave you guys with today is that there's massive momentum building behind the company. I know the product is not quite where I want it to be, but I know this next product is going to be something that is truly game changing and unique. We're getting the interest and support from NVIDIA, interest and support from AWS. So we're courting the right partners to be a part of our journey. I still very much consider us an early stage experimental company. We're pre-seed. We closed our pre-seed round, which is awesome. We're bringing in the right people that will help us expand on our existing capabilities and grow the business in a great way. So I think everything is headed in the right direction. Did it take longer than what I wanted to? Yes. But I think we wouldn't have gotten here without you guys. And we're not going to get there without you guys. So any questions you guys have, any features you want to see, we are always open to that. But I think the moral of the story is like all the hard work is finally starting to pay off in a really meaningful way. And now the opportunity lies before us to turn that into a product that solves your problems, a product that feels like magic for you guys, and a Charlie that continues to deliver on what we set out for this company to do. Cool. Last question. Can we expect the same quality output in other languages as well, apart from English? Yeah, so this question comes up a lot. So right now, for the benefit of you all, we use Amazon as our translation engine. They translate more words than anyone on planet Earth, even more than DeepL. Like they localize in the most amount of languages. Now, the way that it currently works, because models typically are not trained on multiple languages, is you have to go from foreign language. So we give you that ability to input in a language and output in a language. So what has to happen is you put the input language as whatever language you want. You enter your prompts in that language. It has to convert that into English to then feed through the model. And then on the back end has to convert that language into whatever language you want. So it's actually in the middle, it's a sandwich of English to English. And then the output is translated as well. I know that's not an efficient way to do it. That's one of the reasons we were doing Amazon, because it's the fastest and most affordable way to do that complex process. There are models trained in other languages, but the quality sucks. So we haven't really looked to implement those. But the answer is, I think there's some core languages where the quality of the output is really, really high grade. But there's some languages where there's just room for improvement. I think we went for languages early days because we had all these multilingual users. But I'm still endeavoring to make a better language experience for our international users. But for now, that's the way that it currently works. Cool. So with that, I got to run, but there's a number of new things coming out here shortly. Maybe the last thing that we'll leave you guys with is we've actually reintroduced the free tier. So I think one of the things that we perversely were incentivized by early investors was like, go get a whole bunch of revenue and try to monetize. And I think we want to monetize, of course, but we're very much in this experimental phase of all of this. We're very much figuring out who's going to have lasting power and staying power. And what we found is like there's businesses that need marketing, but they don't need like a whole lot. They don't need years worth. So I think what we're doing is we're reintroducing the free tier. Our goal is to get useful AI into the hands of as many people as possible. And if you only need to create 2 pieces of content, then a month, like just generate the 2 pieces of content. That helps Charlie. That's what we do. But we're looking to solve on the monetization side the power user problem, the person that's cranking out blogs all the time, the person that has a bunch of social media that they need to create. But we want as many people to benefit from Charlie's capabilities as possible. So we've actually reintroduced the free tier. It has limitations on how much you can use it per month, but that is now available. So you don't have to put a credit card in to get onto the product. We think this is a better experience. People are cautious to give out their credit card. There will, of course, be freeloaders, but at the end of the day, they help Charlie get better. So if you have friends that are on the fence and want to try out Charlie for free, they can go ahead and do that. Yeah, the free tier is already live. So it's live right now. So that question. The limits are kind of changing. We're playing around with how much, but generally speaking, it's at least 10 runs of everything that's available on the platform. So I will make sure the landing page gets updated with that, but this is just a cool way that you can see Charlie's capabilities in a way that's useful to you. Maybe one more thing I'll leave you with looking towards the future is that the agent is planned to launch in late July, maybe early August. So keep a lookout there. We will be doing a lot more releases. I can't believe it's almost the end of June right now. This year is flying by to me, but I think the second half of the year is going to be huge for Charlie. So keep an eye on what we got coming, and I can't wait to share more with you guys on the next couple calls. Awesome. All right, guys, have a great weekend, and thank you so much for joining us. I can feel the energy building around the product, around the team, and I'm so excited to finally be back in San Francisco for a week to just be able to work with you guys. I shared this in the Facebook community, but if you didn't see it, I'm now opening up my Thursday and Fridays purely for customer discussion. So if you have customer discussions, you want to ask me weird questions about my family, why I got into AI, like what's going on in my life, you want to tell me what's going on in your life and how the product can be better to better help with that. Like these meetings are meant to be unstructured. So come with whatever ideas, come with comments, questions, weird stuff. That's fine too. I think the fundraising thing took me way further away from being connected with the day-to-day of our customers. And that's just part of the game, but now we're back. So let's make it happen and let's freaking go, Charlie. All right, guys. You have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.